man.
We got a good one now.
All right. You guys don't want to hear our music or watch us dance, but we are talking about AI. The 5 ways that people are utilizing AI, and they're not doing everything you can do with it. Like, there's so many things that you can do with AI. And I talked about it a little bit in the group that I run with Malcolm Lawson, but there's other ways that you guys should be utilizing it because it's going to make your life so much easier. And we're going to be talking about some of those different AI things that you can use. So,
yeah, I think that, like what you're saying is some people, we kind of talk about this a little bit, that some people are like, well, I don't really want to jump on AI because it's just a fad. Like, I don't really care to do it because it's not going to be relevant in 6 months. It's not going to affect my business. Like, I'm going to continue to do what I need to do. And that is just simply not the case. Like, if you don't jump on this and you don't understand the power that this can do, you'll be left in the dust. Like, it literally is this era of like a paradigm shift with how information is generated, disseminated, and distributed, and how quickly you can do stuff. Like, it's totally different than, I think some people are like, well, I used ChatGPT 3, the free version, to help my kid with its math, but it doesn't even do that right. It's like they don't quite understand the power of what AI is, and not only what it is now, but what it's going to be. And there are a lot of people that are doing it wrong. Like, I remember I signed up, through Discord on Midjourney a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. And first of all, I could do why nobody would want to like use it. You couldn't even understand how to like do a prompt because it couldn't explain like, oh, how do you make an image, and then, or how do you upload an image, and then how do you adjust it? And then they were terrible. But we are so much farther past that now, to where, I mean, what you're seeing and what's being created is, it's going to be like, we've talked about this a lot, it's the worst it's going to be. It's just going to get better and better.
Well, Dolly was awful. When Dolly first came out with ChatGPT, it was awful.
It's terrible. It still needs.
It was terrible. I'm gonna, like, a little later, I'm gonna show you what Dolly used to look like, but it's a learned tool. So as bad as it is today, it's gonna be the worst it's ever been today. Tomorrow will be better.
Right. I know there's a lot of people that say like, oh, well, you guys are, it's the hype, it's this or that. But like, realistically, maybe we can talk a little bit about how we use AI and how we use ChatGPT Plus. And Google announced that they are now, they had Google Bard, and now they just announced like a day or two ago Gemini, and it rivals ChatGPT 4 right now, and some according to Google. So we'll see when it actually becomes available, but I'd be curious to see. But what are some of the things that you're using it for, Christina? Like, because I know a lot of people are saying, well, I don't see the value in even understanding or learning this AI stuff.
And
I'm a real estate agent. I'm a real estate agent. I don't need that.
Right. But for instance, you're a lot of times when it's ideation, when it comes to creating thumbnails or even titles, right?
Right.
So for my YouTube part of it, of course I use it for thumbnails, but I don't use it like a lot of people would put in. I said, I need an image of, can you see this, by the way? This screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we can see it.
Yeah. So I said, I need an image of Amazon buying homes, because there's a new article that came out about Amazon getting into real estate. Right. And this is fine. This is actually pretty good. But I wanted to push it further because it kind of looks cartoony. So then I said, make it more evil looking.
Oh.
And so and I wanted to push it even further. I want it to be, really colorful and impactful. And I'm like, even further, you got to keep pushing it until you get what you want. And even this was like too red, too gray. And then so this looked good to me, right? So I was like, this is good, but I wonder if we could do it a little bit better, And then I realized with all of these is that we really should be layering them. So what I did was I went to back to PicMonkey. I took out the best parts of all of those thumbnails and I added it to this thumbnail.
Right.
And it makes such a difference. I ended up even adding, I even had it make Amazon
name writers. That's awesome.
Yeah. I had to make it with this, I couldn't have done that on my own, but I had ChatGPT make that for me. And then it's something unique. You're not anybody else is going to have this. And if you were to plug it in, it would look different than this.
Right.
Every time that somebody uses it, it looks different. So even if someone was to copy your design, it's not going to be identical because it never does it exactly the same.
Right.
So I just took some of the elements out of that, what they were giving me, which gave me more creative, design idea to add it to my own thumbnail and make this one.
So let me ask you a question, because you bring up a really, really good point. So you went through right in the beginning, you went through the kind of like your process, right? But how long did it take you to make each of those images? Because you went in the thumbnail designer, how long did it actually take you to come up with those designs?
In total, probably 30 minutes, because I was like, how can I push it even further? How can I push it? And then I kept layering it on top of these just to see, how does this look? How does this look? Because I like each one of the images you can see over here, I uploaded them and I would erase the background, or I'd see how that looked. Because they're, I tried these houses and it didn't look really good. So I took that off, that kind of thing. So, it's a multi-layer process.
So it took you 30 minutes, but now let's go into before you use ChatGPT and DALL-E to design your thumbnails, how long would it have taken you to design, and has it taken you, because you've done tons of thumbnails, how long would it take you to come up and find the images that you want, if you could find them? And if you didn't, you had to create them. How long would that have taken?
A day.
So you went from a day to a half an hour.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are like, well, half an hour is a long time to spend on a thumbnail, but half an hour is fast. If you have all of the images, because the hardest part is finding all of the elements that you want to incorporate in your thumbnail design. So you were able to do all of that and adjust it in a half an hour.
Yes. Let me show you something. Let me show you something else. So you can, I asked it to do I asked it to make an Amazon for sale sign. And I said, make the background, make the background, no background is what I said.
Transparent.
Transparent. It doesn't do it transparent. It does it like this, which is fine. Sometimes it will make the little transparent boxes, but you still take it over PicMonkey and have to take out the transparent boxes.
Yeah, it does that transparent look, but it's actually not a clear, transparent background.
Right, but once you use once you have that background remover, it works really well. It's fine. And PicMonkey, Canva, all of them have the background remover. Do you remember years ago when we didn't have that?
And you had to actually cut it out,
pixel
little piece
by pixel.
Piece. Yes, I do remember that.
Horrible. Anyways, and then I needed a blank tombstone. And so I said, make me a blank tombstone with no background. And this is what I came up with. So then I cropped it out and did this. So all the elements that I actually used to pay a company to give me transparent images to add to my thumbnails. All those things I had to pay for, I canceled them all. I can make it here.
Yeah.
I paid $30 a month on one of them. So.
Yeah. And you can, and the thing is that, and again, we can address, that's actually pretty good. I can't believe that it actually spelled everything right.
Well, the one before it was terrible.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I would be like, oh, is that how? But it's just getting better and better. It's getting smarter so that it because that's the one gripe I have, is that it still doesn't spell everything right. And then, so a lot of times I'll have to do something like that and then put it into the editor and then retype what I want or format the text, but it's way faster to do that than to try to come up with a sign, and then have all your different elements. So it's just expedited that whole process. And if you want to change the sign color, you don't have to go try to search it. You can actually just prompt it to change the color using that, ID, the generated ID. So
I was just shocked on how it got the logo of Amazon so right. That surprised me. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, done. But I find that even with the spelling issues, if I keep asking it the same prompt, it actually gets better each time.
Right.
Or if it does it really well the first time and I keep asking it, it actually starts screwing it up.
Yeah. So what, because again, this is like a generative language model that it learns as you do it. So if you say, yes, that's the right way to spell it, then it should remember as you're going through doing the different models. But if you start the prompt all over without including that ID, it's called seeding. Basically, that seeding number they have to have so that you can have variations, but it's never identical. There's always just even little teeny things that are different on it. But it's incredible, like how, like look at these, like how could you go find these? That one, I like that one a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I might even use it. I don't know. We'll see. But I think what's really is another thing that's really neat is that at one point I kept saying make it more realistic, and every time it would do it, it was started asking which one of these two do you prefer?
Yeah, so then it starts giving you options of like, is it more like this one or more like this one?
Right. Yep. And yeah, and I love this little thumbnail designer that you have, honestly, because I try to do the prompt where I said, make me a sign, make me a sign for Amazon, for sale sign by Amazon. And when I put it in the regular Chat GPT, it said, no, we can't do it. And then I put it in the thumbnail designer and it did it.
Yeah.
With the exact same prompt.
Yeah. No, the difference is it's learning. So like, every time you put something in there, or I like on that thumbnail designer, I think there's like 200 people using it right now. So if you have 200 people that are constantly putting information in, then it learns. And because, obviously it's based around real estate for like 99% of it, it's going to learn and create more and more realistic thumbnails that you don't have to resize, that you don't have to change. It's just like right there.
Yeah. It's gotten great.
Yeah. That looks phenomenal.
I'm like so shocked. I didn't make that, I have to do a thing. I was like, oh, when I saw that one, I was like, thank God.
Right.
Thank God.
Go up just a little bit. And what did you just say? What was it? Scroll down just a little bit.
Oh, that's what they said, right? So the prompt I gave it said, can I get a home for sale sign? And the sign should have Amazon as the seller. No background, please. That's what I put. So it made this.
Yeah.
And then it said, here's the image of the home for sale with the Amazon logo, indicating Amazon as a seller. The sign is designed to be clear and readable with no background. And I said, can the sign be read?
And that's all you said.
That's all I said.
Look at that. Yeah. So now one thing that you can do with this thumbnail designer is if you scroll down just a little bit, if you do like that sign, you just take that Gen ID and then you can say, modify this image slightly, and it should keep all of the stuff that you already have are very, very similar. And then you can have it like, maybe you want to change the sign to blue, or you want to do maybe you want to have a sold on there or something like that. Like it's learning, and it's not perfect yet, but it's learning with that Gen ID that it will actually try to replicate that graphic very, very,
let's see what it does.
Yeah, you got Gen ID in there twice, but yeah, let's see what it'll do. But it's basically gonna swap out, that image.
Da, 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 da. Now I know that you use Chat GPT and you use it to create these like thumbnail designers and other things, right? You even created something that will allow people to like create their own avatar for their own channel so they can understand who's watching their channel.
Yes. Yep.
How is it that would work for a real estate agent? Is there a way that, see how it just,
Yep. It's not right. That's what we're talking about. Is it's not perfect yet.
Let's just see. Can I get it with a yellow with yellow and no background? Let's see what it says.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to do anything else. I'm just going to say that and see what it comes up with, because that red one was so perfect.
It looked great.
I just stepped away from it. Before we get into that, what we were talking about just a second ago, because this is going to come up real quick, I have to tell everybody, with some of my emails that I get, and I know you guys do, we get novel length emails, and half of it didn't even pertain to anything that we knew or even knew about or cared about or any of like this.
Right.
So what I do a lot of times is, because I don't want to sound unprofessional, and we get lazy with our emails. So I'll copy and paste this and say, how do you think I should respond to this email? I'll put that in quotations, and then it will tell me how to respond to it. And then I'll ask it, how would you break down what they said? And they tell me, and then I'll say, can you respond to this in a more enthusiastic, less robotic way? And it will do it. And then I copy and paste that, and then I tweak it to sound more like me. But it takes a lot less time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
even hate this one. This could be fixed easily. This part right here.
Yeah.
Just fix it.
So on that, when you click on the image, what is it? Yeah. Okay. So now see the eye over there? If you click on the eye over by the download button on the right.
Oh, on the right. Okay. Yeah.
Click on that. That's going to be the exact prompt. So you can copy that, and then you can put in there spell for sell, and it should do everything almost identical. And maybe it'll fix it. Again, it's not perfect, but it's that's the exact, when you said do more yellow, that's the prompt that GPT gave Dolly to design it.
See what it says.
Yeah,
I'm in love with it.
Yeah, you can go through. And look at how quickly you can go through a bunch of these different things. The other thing that's really, I agree with you. Like, if you have long emails, or if you have, like stuff that you have to do that it's just everyday tasks, like start thinking about how like you can leverage AI to do that for you, because ChatGPT is. Like, I know a lot of people are on the waiting list, so it kind of went with the same colors, but it didn't do the sign the same.
No. But like most of it's just playing around, and then it gives you the idea, and you're like, okay, well, maybe I can make this on my own, or I could just kind of like massage this out a little bit. Yeah. Like maybe just put like a square here, and then put for sale here, and use my own image on top of it. And I've done that, made it work. I've made it work with that.
But it will get better.
Yeah.
And their spelling and everything that they have, it'll just get better and better. So like, it may not be the greatest right now, but it will be, it's just going to get better.
Yeah. The other thing I think everybody should be doing, especially if you're doing like analytical type videos, is like if you pull up some articles and they're like breaking down the housing market in your area and everything, sometimes they add so much damn fluff in those videos. In those articles, it drives you crazy. And you're reading it and you're like, you've said the same thing in 3 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Right. So what I do a lot of times too is I'll take those articles, copy and paste them in ChatGPT, and say, break this down into 1 paragraph.
Yeah.
Break it down into one paragraph. Let me know what this freaking article is about before I, dig up any further. And it will do it. It will break it down into one paragraph. And then I'm like, okay, this isn't what I need for my avatar. So now I don't have to sit there and read those
Waste your time.
articles.
Right.
Yeah. Saves
Because
me
hey, this isn't content that my viewer is going to want to watch.
Right. So I do that a lot of times. And then another thing you can do. So I will take my script, right, that I've written, like what I'm going to say in my video, and then I'll copy and paste that into ChatGPT and say, can you break this down or put this into one descriptive paragraph for my YouTube channel description? And it will do it. It will add, it will make a description. So I don't have to do it.
Right.
So lazy. But the worst way you could use ChatGPT for your videos. And this is, I'm telling you, I know instantaneously.
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say, Joe?
You're going to say, don't use it for your titles.
Do not use it for your titles. It literally makes the worst titles on the planet. And it does 2 titles and they're way too long. And they put the weird stuff at the beginning. And it's not, you're again going back to like thinking that, because TubeBuddy gave me a score of 100, that makes it a good title. No. You got to you think that you're making video titles for robots. You're not. You're making for people. So make it interesting. ChatGPT gave me, no. You still have to put some thought into this. You have to do the right kind of research when it comes to this. So if you're only depending on AI to create you one thumbnail, for instance, that's dumb. If you're only relying on AI to make your title, that's dumb. If you're only relying on AI to create your scripts for your videos, that's really dumb because it gives you some pretty crummy information at the beginning, Right. You have to it still takes time. It's just going to take you a lot less time than if you were trying to research it yourself.
So I want to say one thing to that, because you're absolutely right. Except for the fact that if you can train a custom GPT like we did. So can I share my screen here?
Absolutely.
I want to show, I don't know how to do it here. I'll present. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to show can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what so as part of our course, I'm going to put a plug-in for the course. As part of our course, we actually have a avatar or a custom GPT named Frank. Okay. Frank is a real estate video geek with a snarky edge. He has been trained with all of our content and all of our information. So if I went to Frank and said, come up with a juicy title, you click this button, Frank is going to search our knowledge base of everything that we have done over 20 hours of video content, of graphics, of analytics, all these things that we've done. And he will help you understand if he doesn't have issues here. So he will go through
and tell you what you need to need to do.
Yeah. So
find that juicy title.
Use power words. Nothing screams click me like titles with the words lies, collapse, or never buy. They're like catnip for viewers. Okay. Okay. But here's the thing.
It took my attitude. So it actually read our videos, and the snarkiness comes from Christina Smallhorn. I can't help it.
100%. So the thing that's great is it's making bold statements. So all of a sudden you have now a custom GPT that has been trained with what we do and what we teach to help you come up with good statements, find the pain points, all of these things. And if you read this stuff, it's incredible, but it all comes off of everything that we talk about in our course and what we train. And so there is that exception of if the GPT has been trained with the right information and has the right information, it can give you a really good outline for coming up with titles. But like you said, don't just put it in there and then say, okay, give me give me 5 titles, and then you copy and paste it because it's going to be terrible. But if you look at what that AI did, or that GPT, is it gave you ideas, and then you can flush those out by saying, okay, give me ideas about the 5 lies about buying a home right now. Here's some articles, and now pull that information and give me some suggestions, and it will totally do that and give you more options that you can then choose. So it's just a lot more effective for your time. So if you're going through and like, oh, okay, how long do I have to take to brainstorm for a good title and a good thumbnail? Well, you can now do it in a few seconds. And then, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What would be a good suggestion? Frank, give me your stuff. And because he has been trained through all of our course content, it actually will provide really, really relevant and valuable stuff that you have used personally to grow your YouTube channel. So it's not like this, it's just grabbing it from wherever. It's getting very specific information for a real estate based channel. And that one happens to be on affordability, but you can cater it to any of those things because they're all patterns, right? They're all just like, you just have to swap words out. So I get really excited about that, because then it's like, man, you can do your homework so much faster in getting things put together. So then it's like, hey, I have a great thumbnail and a juicy title. Now I'm ready to make my video. Right.
Yeah. And I know that there is some there's other programs out there, by the way,
right,
other than ChatGPT. Like Dolly is on ChatGPT, but you can go to Dolly and use Dolly. You don't have to use ChatGPT to use Dolly.
And they have OpenAI has their playground where you can go in and mess with that stuff as well. Yes, you do have to have ChatGPT, at least the Plus, which is you're paying for that. If you have the ChatGPT Plus, and Rebecca is a member of our course, so she would get a copy of that link, and you can use that to help you flush out video ideas.
I didn't, for some reason, I didn't get the luxury of being able to hand out like people could use ChatGPT. I didn't. You were able to refer people. I'm not. I don't know why. And I've had it since it started, but they didn't give me any little.
I wonder if it was more like because I made a couple custom GPTs or something. Who knows? It could be random too. Yeah, who knows?
I'm just maybe mad.
All I know is Neil really likes me because he has access to it now.
Yeah, I know. But if I get it, Rebecca, you'll be the first one I will hit up and make sure that you get it from me, so you can sign up for it. But that brings me to another point. There's Midjourney. That's another one that you can use. It is free. You have to. The weird part is you have to have it connected to Discord.
It's all through Discord, yeah.
Yeah, it's all through Discord. So if you're not familiar with Discord and you're trying to use Midjourney, it's going to be difficult for you to use. Now, Bing has one too.
Yep.
Terrible, but it's getting better.
Yep.
And then you said there was one that people need to know about.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen again because I'm actually
going to dip out because I'm going to show them something. So I'm going to pull myself out and then
you got it. I'm actually really excited about this because this right here, Google just released their version of ChatGPT. They have the Gemini, and basically what it is supposedly is going to be everything that ChatGPT 4 and on. You can obviously, if you want to go to, I'll put this in the chat, but if you want to go learn about it, you can watch the guys at Google explain everything that it's going to be doing. And this is apparently like, here we go. This is kind of what I wanted to show. Let's go to right here. So they're basically now already comparing it to GPT-4 and saying all of our stuff is pretty much better than ChatGPT-4. It's not out right now, but it is going to be available soon. I think they've kind of like how Gmail went out and it was like invite only. There's people that got invited and then they could they could get early access to it. And there is so the way that it works is there's Gemini Ultra, then there's Gemini Pro, and then the Gemini like Gemini. So it'd be kind of like the Ultra would be like the enterprise level. The Pro would be kind of like ChatGPT's Pro, and then the just regular Gemini would be, I'm assuming you just go through Bard, which is Google's AI that I think they'll be transitioning everything to Gemini. But it's pretty exciting to see kind of those things that they're doing. I'm going to see if I don't even know how to do this. There might be a button here where I can put the link. If you want the link, just comment below that you want the link, and then after the live stream, I'll put the link in the description or right underneath that and pin the comment or something. So if you want to watch the video and you want to see what's going out there. So I would say that if you're worried about like, oh, I'm on the wait list, or I can't log in, or I can't do this because it's, they've paused the subscriptions and they're not letting any more in, there is a lot more opportunity. And I'm going to be kind of messing with Gemini as soon as I can get into it and kind of going pros and cons between the two. And they may be very similar. They may not be. I did log in to the Gemini version, which would be kind of like ChatGPT 3.5, which is offered through Bard. And that one did not let you generate images. It doesn't have that capability right now. So if you do have the paid version of ChatGPT and you're running GPT-4, then you can create thumbnails and stuff like that. So if you are, the other thing too, is if you do have ChatGPT Plus and you want the link to the thumbnail designer, what Christine has been using, let me know and we'll send that over to you guys as well. We'll just put a link maybe another link in the description, because it's the more people using it, the better it'll get. So I'm excited about that. Let's see, what does Jeremy say? Jeremy says, if I could only get into ChatGPT 4 to have the thumbnail designer. Still waiting. Sorry, man. I know it's crazy. Like it just went like gangbusters after Dev Day, and so many people signed up. And then I think they had, obviously there's some issues that they're working through. But I did get an email from OpenAI, and they had mentioned that that they're going to be launching the GPT store in the first part of the year. So I'm assuming maybe January, February. And I would imagine when they launch that they'll open up subscriptions again to the GPT-4, because I can't imagine them opening the store and then not letting people go in, because you have to have a plus version to even use these custom GPTs. So,
well, all right. So let me show you this.
See how I just rambled that whole time?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Well, you know what happened? My husband locked me out of the house. Oh. So I was like, I had to run all the way to the front of the house. And then,
did you tell ChatGPT to let you in?
I know. I was so mad because the back door, I have one of those locks that you have to put in the code.
Oh,
and
yeah.
For some reason, somebody changed the lock code on the back door.
Oh, yeah. Dang. That's no fun.
Yeah, that was so fun. Okay, so back in the day when they came out with this, there was like a little thing like, oh, make your own AI images and everything. So I said, make a Salvador Dali cat, right? And this is what it made. the cat looked terrible.
Like totally realistic there. And yeah,
it looks bad. And I don't know what this is, but it was bad. Okay. Then I said, okay, well, make a Salvador Dali style YouTube thumbnail. And this is what I came up with. Look at the people.
That's hilarious. That is terrible.
It's so bad, but that tells you how much it has changed, right? So I I'd love to, let's see what it says now, if we were to do it now, because it's learned so much, right? Mm-hmm. If we were to put that in today, so make a Salvador Dali YouTube person. That's all I put the last time. Let's see what let's see what it says makes now. It'll be interesting because the last time it was like they looked like weird cartoon. I don't know.
And then like it cut it out like a real magazine thing and then slapped it on top.
Right. It was like, yeah, right. Like it was like cut and paste. It was very strange. And then like she had the weird stuff over her teeth. Well, I'd say that's an improvement.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and like we should like save this and do this next year and see what it looks like.
Right.
It's wild.
I don't even know if you have to wait a year. Do it in a month and it'll probably be different how quickly this stuff is learning.
Well, even from the time that they came out with this on ChatGPT, you know, when everybody signed up for it,
yeah,
the day that I first got it, it was okay. You know, it was like, okay. And every day it gets better.
Right.
Every single day it gets better. I've been making thumbnails with it. Let me just show you some of the things I've been making. You know, like this one right here. Are you seeing this? The one with you in it?
Mm-hmm.
That first one was with AI because I had it make a robot, and then I cut off half of it and put it on top of your face. And then you made this one.
Yep. I did the same thing through the thumbnail designer. And then, like, of course, I made these. I was trying to freak out my mom, and I showed her this one. I said, I had ChatGPT. I said, make a really scary vintage looking snowman. And I gave it to my mom. I was like, Mom, look at this weird image I found in somebody's attic when I was cleaning out their house when it was for sale. And she believed me. Oh man, that's funny.
But I did that with ChatGPT. I did it with that. And then, all of these are, I love this one. I made this one.
Oh, is it loading here?
Yeah, it's going to load. It just takes a second. All right. Do you see it?
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
Right. So I just said, make a female robot. And then I erased the robot,
put your face behind it
and put my face behind it and like made sure my hair like climbed over top of it and everything. But that's what I'm talking about. Like that, like my hair went over it. So there, like it looked more seamless, you know?
Right.
So,
but again, it's like that like if you were to try to find something or have a digital artist make that, you couldn't do that. I mean, it wouldn't be cost effective, right? You could probably have someone make it, but it would be like 20 hours later. And then, then they charge you, a lot of money. And you're like, I just did that in, a few seconds with ChatGPT.
Right. Exactly. And I think it's good to blend in like real images, real life in with the AI images.
Right.
I think when you just use straight AI and not like layer it up and use your own imagination, then it tends to be
yeah. And eventually I do think that it'll get more and more realistic, but for the time being, like this is incredible compared to, what did we have a year ago? ChatGPT is only a year old. Like it's not like it's been around and how far it's come in 1 year. So, that brings up another point of where it's going. So like we talk a lot about everything to do with YouTube and how to streamline your business. Well, if you're stuck trying to come up with scripts and trying to like research and do all that takes a lot of time. But now you can kind of skim headlines and go, or videos like what you were saying, and then you can have ChatGPT summarize them and find other ones that are like it. So you don't have to search it. It'll actually search it for you and then give you that information. And then you can go, oh yeah, like this isn't going to work, or yeah, this is great. Tell me more. And then you can kind of do it. And within a few minutes, you can have some really good ideas for videos just by leveraging the power of AI and it being able to go out and pull those videos and get that information.
Now, I will tell you that it's helping me organize my time a little bit better too, because I'm all over the place. So I'm like, help me. These are all the things I need to get done this week.
Right.
So I tell it all the things I need to do, And like, for instance, like I had to go do shopping on one day, and I'm like, with traffic and everything, it's probably going to take me this amount of time. And these are all the other things I need to do on that specific day. And these are all the things I need to do this week, this entire week. How should I organize my week if I get up at this time and go to bed and stop working at this time? And it helped me schedule my whole week.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a personal assistant there to help you with whatever. The thing that I would like, I think a lot of people are like, well, I don't know how to prompt and I don't know how to do this.
That is the one confusing thing for me. Like when people say, I don't know what to tell it, I'm like, well, what would you ask a person?
Right. That's exactly it. So like, that's the thing that like the way that this is built is it's built on communication and conversation. So people like, I will give you an example. Like I had an idea because we were talking about, getting our personas and being able to pull comments from YouTube videos and then compile those and have AI give you like a summary of everything and then build out a viewer persona for that type of channel, or maybe it's multiple channels. So I was like, I wonder, this was the question I had. I go, I wonder if I could connect with YouTube's API and then have ChatGPT. Like, I wonder if there was a script so I didn't have to go copy and paste all the comments every time. And that was literally my question. So what I do, I asked ChatGPT, is there a script that I can write or that can be written to tie into YouTube's API and then pull all of the comments from specific videos? And it's like, yeah, you totally can do it. And I'm like, write that script for me. It's like, okay, you need a Python script. I don't know anything about Python. So they're like, okay, you need a Python script. So it wrote the Python script. And I'm like, what do I do with this? And they're like, and this is the conversation. So it's a conversation. I don't know what to do with this. What do I do with it? You need to load Python, because I didn't have Python. So it gave me the link of where to download, walked me through how to install it. It took like two minutes. I installed it. And then it's like, okay, now open terminal on your computer, type this command and it'll run it. And within I would say 30 minutes, I now I have a script that ChatGPT wrote that will go through because it also walked me through how to set up a YouTube API. So then I like go in and actually, so that it can pull more information. And then basically from that stuff, it walked me step by step. And that's what I said, just, okay, what's next? How do I do it? Then I tested it. It didn't work. I copied the code, put it in and said, this is not working. Why? And it's like, oh, you didn't install this. You didn't install this. So then I installed all those things. And then I put the user, basically the video ID from the browser. Like you just copy that ID, put it in the code. I even told it, I asked, where do I paste this code in this Python file? Because I don't know how to do it. And it highlighted where I needed to paste the code. I put the code in there, and then all I had to do was do a little command that it gave me, basically saying, find this file and run it. And it went from my computer. It ran the Python script, used the API, and pulled all of the up to 150 comments of the video, the username, the comments, the likes, the timestamp of everything, and the video, what do you call it? The transcription. So all of that stuff. And then I just put 3 or 4 different channel IDs in, and then I was able to compile that and have ChatGPT build out a persona. And I actually sent it to Angie. She was wondering about that. So I put one together for it. It did it in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Now it took longer to build it all, like maybe a half an hour. But after that, now I can build personas for every single like channel. I can find it, and it's pretty dang accurate.
I'm going to tell everybody that I know that I've seen it, that people have been downloading the transcripts of other people's videos that have been successful, and they're using those transcripts to go ahead and make their own videos. And I will caution you on this. You will lose your audience that way because you're not being true to yourself.
You're not authentic.
You're not, and all you're doing is spitting out information that somebody else harvested, which is fine, except for the fact that you're just who are you making videos for at that point? Like, you're not even trying, you're just standing in front of a camera, just saying words. And not only that, the other person that created the video is spending a lot of time doing that. I every time that I've ever seen anybody directly copy the other person, the person that copied pales in comparison to the original.
Right.
Even if they got more views, they still are doing not the same kind of job. And anybody that I've seen that has, like, all of a sudden they just took off and you're like, damn, they just copied that person, that person, that person, and that person. After a while, they're all floundering around because they're like, all they do is they took the top performing videos and they just made their own videos on the top performing videos, and their channel's doing so good. And then all of a sudden they're on top and they have no one else to copy. And then they don't know what to do because they don't have their own identity and they don't know who their avatar is. And then they're like, oh no, what do I do? And they panic. So don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, it's one thing to study, to understand an audience. It's another to flat out rip people off. And I know there's people that do it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. And you know what, that, like, to that point, I think that's kind of the thing that's important, is everything that we're talking about here is to help expedite your understanding, but you still have to do the work. You still have to put the work in, and you want to be authentic and use the way that you would say things. There's nothing wrong with taking information and rewording it, working it for how it works for you. Everybody does that. Everyone does that. But if you try to, like what you're saying, if you try to just copy it, you're not one, you're not going to find an audience, and two, you're not being authentic to yourself. And most people, when they go through that process of understanding, trying to identify who their avatar is, understanding their niche, working really hard, and then it's progression, and then they find, not only do they find their niche, but they find their voice. They find who they are. And then that's when the massive growth happens, because you've built on, like, a solid foundation of understanding, like, the fundamentals of what YouTube wants. They don't want copycats. They want original. They want people to add to. There's definitely things that you can take and you can react and you can do, but you're adding your own spin to it.
100%. Yep. I mean, that, like, there's people say, well, there's hundreds of little clones of Mr. Beast out there. And I'm like, yeah, there is. And it does work. But are they as big as Mr. Beast? Right. Are they getting the same views consistently like Mr. Beast? No.
Well, and that's it. Any big, like, any real big creator, they're not copying, they're creating. They're trying to find the next thing that nobody else is doing. And agents, we're like, we want that big red easy button and just be like, I just want this. And a lot of times they miss what really matters is the content and really putting that stuff together.
And knowing who you're making content for.
100%.
There's so many times they're like, what are the next 5 videos I should be making when I start a new channel? I'm like, wow. Like, who are you making videos for?
Yeah. What client do you want to work with?
Yeah. Like, and if somebody gives you a blanket statement like that, and they say, oh, these are the 5 you're definitely going to get, and you're definitely going to get leads from it. And then you don't, and then you're disparaged, like, you have disparaged because you're like, I did those 5 videos and I didn't get one phone call. I guess I'm doing it wrong. No, you're not doing it wrong. You're not. There's just, and not only that, the videos that used to work, let's just say 10 months ago, like, everybody was doing these videos. They worked 10 months ago. Well, guess what? That ship has sailed. It's done now.
Yep.
It's
always evolving.
Yeah. I had a group of videos that I always did. It was, oh God, what was it? It was, something about cash. It was something like you didn't know the amount of, it was something like that. Oh, the real cost. That's what it was. The real cost of such and such. The real cost. And I kept, real cost of manufactured home, the real cost of modular homes, the real cost of building a home. And those videos worked until one day they didn't. Because that like, I had exhausted that out. And that's what happens. So when people tell you, oh, these were the 5 videos that definitely got me a ton of traffic to my YouTube channel. Yeah, that was for that specific time. but the YouTube channels and algorithms change all the time. So yeah, that worked a year ago, but it's not going to work today.
Yeah, it's you have to test, you have to adjust, you have to look at those things and make tiny tweaks. But I think one of the things that, like, and you can talk a lot about this, is that some people just they think, well, I made a video or I made 5 videos. Why am I not getting any leads? I did everything that the gurus told me to do, but what it comes down to is understanding what YouTube is and what the platform is. Sometimes you could wait a year before things take off. Like, it's you've made the video, it may take a while to catch on, and obviously as a newer creator, it may take longer, but when it does catch on, it's going to, all the other videos that you made, as long as it's consistent with what your message is, then it'll grow. But you may go, wow, I did a video and it got like 200 views, and I'm really like bummed that I didn't get any views. And then 157 days later, all of a sudden it spikes. Like, that's the thing that people don't understand about YouTube.
Right. And it goes in ebbs and flows too, right? So you could have a good 6 weeks that you're riding that YouTube high, like a wave. And all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, oh,
what happened to my videos?
Why does nobody love me anymore? But it's just going on a wave. And all you have to do is find the next video that's going to make that wave go back up again. Like, I get it, and you can, and there's going to be videos that you spend time on. I think everybody should do this and always stay with this, is that, the last video you did, once it's finished, you just got to make sure that next video is just a little bit better than the last video.
Yep.
And Roberta Blake always says, and I don't necessarily agree with this, especially if you're getting training, but if you're doing this on your own, the first 100 videos, don't expect anything from them. If you're not getting any training and you're just trying to learn YouTube on your own, the first 100 videos are just basically you're teaching yourself.
Right.
You're teaching yourself how to be in front of a camera. You're teaching yourself lighting. It's especially if you're doing it on your own.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is but if you're doing that, like you said, it's hopefully you're learning one thing that you make better in the next video. But that also brings us to like why we are here, is we actually help people that do want to have a presence on YouTube, that do want to get leads, that want to have a business that is, more of that, because this is where everything is headed. We help with that, with all of these little things that we've been talking about, because a lot of people, just once you get over this thing and there's a stumbling block and people think, I've got to make these videos, and if I make these videos, then everything will be fine. And then they make them and then nothing happens, and then they give up, and then it cycles around and they're like, oh, people are getting leads on YouTube, I should be doing that. And so it's like, just, if you're going to do it, commit. And then the year, we're at the end of the year, like, this is the time to like really set some goals and say, okay, how do I, where do I want to get my leads? Where do I want to spend my money? Do I want to keep paying Zillow for garbage leads that they're sold over and over? Or do I want someone that actually wants to work with me, and they've been stalking me on my YouTube channel for 6 months, so it's not even a sell?
Yeah. And that brings me to my point of this, because this goes right where around with the AI, is that people will give up. And the worst thing you can do is give up. When you say that AI doesn't work, it's because you didn't try. Yeah. When you say YouTube doesn't work, it's because you didn't try. When you say any of these things don't work, social media posting doesn't work, you didn't try. They're like, all of these things is as though everything feels like an easy button. Just even Zillow leads, right? It feels like an easy button. You think the phone now is going to ring because I got these Zillow leads, and they're just going to want to buy a house just like that. Yep. You have to work those leads. It's work. It's a job. If you want this to happen with YouTube, you're going to have to work at it. If you want the AI to work for you and with you, you're going to have to train it. All of these things are going to take your initial time first to get the end result that you want. You can't give up on it. Did I lose you?
There you go. Sorry. I agree. I concur.
I concur. I concur. Did you get anything in the mail recently?
I don't know. I haven't checked my mail. Am I supposed to be getting something?
Yes, you are.
Oh, well, when I get it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I don't have anything as of yet, but I think that the thing that I'm excited about with all of this is that it's just getting started, and this is entry level with AI, with all of this. And a lot of people think, well, I missed the boat on YouTube. Like
yes.
I missed the boat, and there's no more leads, there's no more people.
There's too many competition in my market.
Yeah, that's not the case. Like
No.
especially in real estate, man. Like that, like if you can, there is so much out there and so much available, but you just have to want it, and you have to do that work. And part of that work is, if you want to expedite it and learn, get over some of the things that you may have to learn through Hard Knocks Life is join our course, because our course, we help real estate agents do YouTube and get leads and build channels so that they can monetize, and they can do it. And it's not easy. It's not this like easy button thing. It's a lot of work, and you have to be dedicated, and you have to be patient and consistent. But Christina's proof that if you do those things, that you can achieve great leads, a great resource directly through just YouTube.
Yeah, because we're teaching you how to be a marketer as well as a YouTube creator. And in order to get the leads, you got to learn how to market. So
you're a marketer first.
No, we say that. That's my whole thing. You're a marketer first. So this just shows you the course. If you go to our website, realestatevideogeeks.com, you can go over here and join the course. This week, we didn't have any channel reviews, but if you do want a channel review in the future, there is a tab on there on Real Estate Video Geeks, where you can get a free channel review. There is no obligation. You just go ahead and fill out this form. Please put the correct URL to your YouTube channel. We can't pull it up by your name. We can't you can't just put in your channel name. You have to put in the URL. That people got that messed up. Can you see that tab? Just fill out the form. It takes 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. It's not that hard.
Yeah. And then, we're here every week. We want to do channel reviews. If you're growing and you're following, there are things and tips and tricks in these reviews that we give to help you get, your YouTube channel more organized, where you can generate more leads.
Now, some of you already have channels that have already been set up and has been well established for some period of time, and you've been through some YouTube courses before, and you just want a consultation. You're more than welcome to have a consultation with Joe, Christina, or Malcolm even. All you have to do is go over to that same website, realestatevideogeeks.com, and then hit book a call, and then you can schedule with a call with us. So that's always up for, you can do that too. You can do it. You can do it. Joe, I want to say thank you so much for enlightening us today with some AI. I enjoyed talking to you about it. I love AI. I mean, honest to God, it's like I fired my VA for it. I don't need a virtual assistant anymore. Yeah, and half the time they didn't answer the damn emails like I told them to anyway.
Right. It's like, oh, I could pay $20 for my AI assistant a month, and I can get rid of my VA and half of the problems that I have with that. And with all of this custom GPT stuff and being able to train it, and people think it's like, oh, it's this really hard thing and you have to know code. No, it's a conversation, and you can upload documents, information, stuff like that, and it learns off of that stuff, so that when you're doing the things that you need to do, like responding to emails and stuff like that, it can be your digital assistant that answers exactly how you do with a little bit of training.
And you do not need to know magic prompts in order to talk to it. All the time, people are like, I don't understand. I don't know what to prompt it to. If you can talk to a person, you can talk to this. I even say please and thank you.
Right.
Mostly because I watched Terminator, and I just want the robots to know there are some good people out there, and they don't have to blow us all up when they take over.
Remember me? I said thank you very much.
I said please and thank you. You might remember me.
Yeah. Oh,
I know you have facial recognition. You know I was said please and thank you with you. Don't blow me up. I just don't want my head turned off.
This has been a really enjoyable live stream. Like like the value that people can get from using AI, and just sharing, like for you sharing how you how you do your thumbnails and stuff like that. It's eye-opening how quickly you can come up with great ideas with just a little bit of AI.
I know I've had fun with it, and I keep learning more stuff. And I'm like, what else can I get rid of? Because now I just got rid of the thing that I make the PNG. I just got rid of it. I'm like, I can do it with this. And, it saves you money. Like, there's so much money I save from it. So I'm very excited. Anyway. All right, Joe, thank you so much. I will see you on our Zoom call this evening for our class. So some of our students are out there. We'll see you in about an hour. All right, everybody. Be